discuss next in this book that I was telling you about before, one section that I wrote about, which is hexagram 47. This is a hexagram between 46 and 48, which are both positive hexagrams, have to do with growing and so forth. But this one is just the opposite. It's a hexagram of being confined, being not allowed to grow, being kept beneath, and not opening and not penetrating, and so on. So I've read this poem many times, and I've gotten articles back from me when I wrote to people about it. There's one particular woman who wrote to me about this, and she said when she was writing that she regarded herself as one who's struggling and is very depressed. The central theme of her article was in terms of roots that have no room to grow. She referred to herself and others as root-bound people. Root-bound people, where the roots are bound. Now, if we were to look at this hexagram and its words and what it means, it is like that. It's like a tree that is rooted in the ground, and yet they cannot go and penetrate the soil for nutrition, nor can they get any light from above to help them grow. So they're bound. They can't go up, they can't go down. It's a dying situation. So what I did, I wrote a short poem about this because I was so impressed with this beautiful but sad hexagram. It's called Pot. Hearing the cracking sound, feeling the breaks coming, the shattering begins to start, one tiny root at a time. One small breath of open air to fill the starving cells, so long bound in this hard and hardening shell, dying, buried with the dead among the dead. Ah, to grow again, to be free, deep in Mother Earth, high in the heavens. This pot, no longer my home. I hope you have enjoyed some of these sections from The House of Opposites. Not that large book I wrote itself, but these essays I wrote that have things to do with that. Now, there are many more in here that I may share with you, but for now, I think that's a good example of how very important the I Ching is and how one can spend a great deal of one's time learning from it, participating in it, and letting it affect one's life in ways you don't necessarily expect. So, we suggest that you also, when you have time, take a look at an I Ching. Read it, learn from it, let it teach you, because it is a sage. It is a spirit-filled entity who has put himself into this book to bring his spirit into your life.